Hello everybody out there. This session is all about the subtraction of integers. We all know how to subtract two whole numbers, don't we? Like we know that 9 minus 4 is 5 or 3 minus 0 is 3. Pretty cool. So we extend the same idea to the subtraction of integers. Let's take two positive integers. Now you must be wondering what I have written there. Remember the phrase add the additive inverse of the second integer. I'll explain it to you, not a problem at all. So let's take two positive integers, 6 minus 3. What does it give us? Or I can say 3 subtracted from 6. What does it give us? 6 and 3 are not just whole numbers or natural numbers, they are also positive integers. So when I say add the additive integer, we must understand something. To subtract one integer from another, I repeat, to subtract one integer from another, we take the additive inverse of the integer to be subtracted. Now, what is the integer to be subtracted here? 3 is the integer to be subtracted. And what is the additive inverse of 3? It is negative 3, right? Negative 3. So to subtract one integer from another, we take the additive inverse of the integer to be subtracted and add it to the other integer. Do you see that? So now it follows the addition rule out here. So 6 added to negative 3, how much do we get? We get a 3. So 6 minus 3 is 3. So now let's take another two positive integers, 7 minus 4. Yes, they are two whole numbers. They are also two natural numbers, but they're also two positive integers. So how do we do this? As I said, add the additive inverse. The first number remains the same. Add, the minus sign becomes plus. What is the additive inverse of the second integer? Additive inverse of positive 4 is negative 4. So, how much do we get? We get a 3. So, 7 minus 4 is 3. I'm sure you're pretty clear over here right now, right? So, this is positive integer subtracted by a positive integer. Okay? So, we learned how to do this now. Now, let's take the other one. That is negative integer. Let me take another color for you to make it even more interesting. Yep. I love the color blue. Yeah, I'll take the color blue. Yeah. So the next one I am going to deal with a negative integer subtracted with a negative integer. What does it give us? Let's take negative 8 subtracted by negative 3. So, as I said, add the additive inverse. So, when I say add the additive, I'm going to do add additive inverse of negative 3, positive 3. So, how much do I get? I get a negative 5. Cool? Let's take another one. Negative 9 subtracted by negative 4. Again, how do I subtract this? Add the additive inverse. I get a negative 5. Let's take another example. Negative 8 subtracted by negative 2. As I said, add the additive inverse. So what are you adding? The main sign, the important sign out here is the subtraction sign. You add, and the additive inverse of the second integer. The additive inverse of the second integer from negative 2 is positive 2. So what does negative 8 plus positive 2 give us? It gives us negative 6. Another example to understand better, negative 3 minus 0. Anything subtracted from 0 gives you the same integer. That's what we learned in the previous session, right? So this is about positive subtracted by positive, negative subtracted by negative. Now what about positive subtracted by negative, what does it give us? So let's take a positive integer like 9 subtracted by a negative integer, let's call it negative 3. As I told you, subtraction, remember the phrase, add the additive inverse. Add the additive inverse of the second integer, we get a 12. Let's take another one, 10 subtracted by negative 4. So the first digit remains the same as I told you. Add, that minus becomes plus, add the additive integer, the second integer is negative 4. So the additive inverse of negative 4 is positive 4 and we get a 14. So 10 subtracted by negative 4, we get 14. Cool? Now let's check the other way around. Negative integer subtracted by a positive integer. What do we get? Okay, so let's take the negative integer is negative 5 subtracted by a positive integer is 3, right? So again, since it is subtraction, remember the phrase, add the additive inverse of the second integer, add the additive inverse of the second integer, you get a negative 8. Another example, negative 9 subtracted by 2. What do we get? As I told you, negative 9 remains the same. Add the additive inverse. Add, the minus becomes plus. This is a positive integer, 2 is a positive integer, and the additive inverse of a positive integer, it's a negative integer, that is negative 2. So this is negative 9 plus negative 2, you get a negative 11. So the answer out here is negative 11. How is that, children? Isn't that cool? So let me just write down a few sums. Let's see whether you can get it right, okay? So my problems are 8 minus 3. Come on, work it out. Yes. The other one is going to be negative 7 minus negative 4. Yes. Another one is going to be 10 minus negative 8. You must be wondering, why do I put the brackets out? It's just not to confuse the signs out here, all right? And the other one is negative 5 minus 3. Okay, done. That's it. So 8 minus 3. We need to subtract these integers. So I told you to remember the phrase, add the additive inverse of the second integer. So add the additive inverse. So this becomes negative 3. So 8 plus negative 3 gives us a 5. Did you get it? Yes? Good. That's lovely. What about the second one? Negative 7 minus negative 4. So again, add the additive inverse of the second integer. So add, additive inverse of negative 4 is positive 4. So negative 7 plus positive 4 gives you a negative 3. Did you get this also correct? Wonderful. Give a pat on your back now. Third one, 10 minus negative 8. So here again, add the additive inverse. So what happens? 10 plus 8 positive. It's 18. Got it right? Good. Now comes the last one, the final one, negative 5 minus positive 3. So again, remember our phrase, add the additive inverse. So negative 5 plus negative 3 gives us negative 8. Woof, that's cool. So I'm sure you got the subtraction of integers right now. Just remember the phrase, add the additive inverse of the second integer. If you've forgotten what is additive inverse all about, kindly refer to my past video. It's all up there. I hope you enjoyed and understood this session. I urge you to subscribe to my channel as there are many more videos coming up. Thank you.